Councilmember Jackson, he's the chair of the New York City Council on Education, and he's been an ardent supporter of education. It's very important to have such people behind an education process. He's also running for the Brooklyn Borough President, and he's always been a supporter of Harlem Children's Society and of education from a very long time. In fact, he would tell you that he once walked from New York City to Albany on foot to make a case and won the case. And that's admirable, which is how many miles from New York City to Albany. Joel Garcia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, you've been here a while. Good afternoon. I am very pleased to be here today on behalf of Councilmember Jackson, who is widely known as the champion for education for everyone. And I'm going to briefly tell you a little bit about him, and you'll see why. And you'll see why he so supports this great organization, which was very well illustrated in the short brief video that we just saw. And the council member has done so much that I'm going to ask you for forgiveness. I always like and enjoy and believe strongly in eye contact, but I'm going to, from time to time, look down at my notes to make sure that I come close to doing justice to the Chair of Education. Councilmember Jackson currently, as you heard, is the Chair of Education. He's also the co-chair of the Black Latino Asian Caucus. He's been a member of the City Council for more than 11 years. This is actually his 12th year and last term. And as you heard, he's looking to aspire for a higher office. I'll just do a brief correction of Dr. Sant, not for Brooklyn Borough President, but actually for Manhattan Borough President. He came, and I should say, give you a little background as to how Councilmember Jackson started. He is born and raised in New York, and he actually was born in Harlem Hospital, raised in Harlem and a little bit in the Bronx. And he was one of 8 children, and 2 of whom, he and his brother, who made it to college. But let me tell you about college and how he got there. He lived in a low-income community, went to Benjamin Franklin High School, and he ran track. That's what he loved to do. He's a very active guy. He's also known as Action Jackson, and he still runs. He's ran 3 New York City Marathon. The first one he ran at the age of 57, and he came in after a little under 4 minutes, which is great for someone his age, and I dare say my age, because I don't think I could do that. And I should say that he ran track and he had a coach. And this is very important because this program is about mentoring. It's about inspiring. It's about supporting. And he had a coach who said, Bobby, here's this paper. I want you to take it home and make sure your mom signs it. And because of his relationship and belief in that coach and knowing that coach only wants the best for him, he didn't ask questions. He just made sure that his mom signed it. He brought it back. It was an application for the Upper Bound program. And the Upper Bound program was his gateway to higher education. And that's how he became a member, a student of New Paltz College, SUNY New Paltz. Fast forward, that's his beginning, but fast forward, he raised 3 girls in New York City in Washington Heights. And one day when his wife went to enroll their first daughter in elementary school, she was approached by another parent, and said, we need parent volunteers and we need you to volunteer. And she said, that sounds great, I'll send my husband. And thereafter, because of the 3 children and how their ages are spanned, he was part of the PTA for a total number of 19 years. It's a school that goes from K to A, and he even continued afterwards in high school. But while he was a parent volunteer, and while he was elected to be president of the school board, he realized that there was an inequity going on in the New York City system. that the students in New York City were not getting the equitable funding compared to their counterparts in the rest of the state. And he said this is unjust. And so what did he do? He sued the New York State under a campaign that was called Campaign for Fiscal Equity. And he decided to illustrate the campaign for fiscal equity by walking. And he decided to walk from his home in Washington Heights down to, I believe, the Supreme Court, downtown, and that was about 12 miles. Anyway, the court proceedings resulted in a judgment that said that the New York State was only required to educate a student in 8th grade in reading and math. 8th grade. Do you think that's acceptable? Do you think that if your child or you, if you're a student, just stopped at 8th grade and the city told you that's it, that's all we're required to do for you, would you think that do you think that gives you the opportunity to achieve anything in your life or in your child's life? No? Yes? How many of you think yes? Raise your hand. How many of you think no? And that is exactly, and I'm sure the others are just staring at me and say, I agree, but I'm not going to raise my hand. And that is exactly what Councilmember Jackson thought. And he said, you know, I know in my heart there's no way that the highest court of this state will uphold that decision. So he said, you know, I'm going to walk to Albany. And people say, you know, you're crazy. And he will tell you, if he was standing here, yes, I'm crazy. I'm crazy when it comes to there being injustice in a child's education. And he didn't do it for his 3 girls. He did it for all children in New York City. And so he walked. It took a week, May 1st to May 8th, I believe it was 2001, 2003. And he walked 150 miles. You guys didn't know what the number was. 150 miles to Albany. And he wore a shirt every day that said, walk a mile for a child. And when he was getting near approaching the court, one of the lead coordinators of the Campaign for Fiscal Equity told him, Robert, we're going to be in court tomorrow. I need you to wear a suit. And he said, guess what, Samara? I didn't bring a suit. I'm going to go into that court smelling as funky as I can and make sure that the judge can smell me from the back of the room. Because I want to make a statement and know that we are here and that we will not stand for this. Well, the whole litigation took 13 years. But in 2007, the New York State made a judgment. And it brought $16 billion for the kids of New York City. $16 billion, so that's a landmark decision for our children. That was for more school capacity, meaning more slots for kids. It meant more hiring of teachers. It meant smaller classroom sizes. It meant that the New York State realized that an 8th grade wasn't nearly enough to make sure that they provided students with the opportunity for a sound basic education. I want to emphasize the word opportunity because I heard it several times actually by the students in this video clip. An opportunity. No one guarantees you a good education. But you better believe that the very least the government can do for our kids is guarantee the opportunity. Now right here you have a great organization that will give you that opportunity, and all you have to do is take advantage. Support it, use its resources, listen to your parents, listen to your support network, make sure you give back to the community, make sure you take every opportunity to build on what you learned today so you could be all that much more tomorrow. Now I leave you with this. I hadn't looked at my notes for a while. I think I did pretty good. Councilmember Jackson will leave you with these words. The road is not a straight incline. It just isn't. And it's going to get hard. It's going to be tough. And I know that many of you in this room know that. And it's very important that when it goes a little down that you realize, oh, when someone tells you, oh, 150 miles, don't think you can do it. Sue the state of New York, don't think you can do it. I want you to remember and know that there was someone who didn't even know you, who walked in 150 miles. And the best way to honor the judgment of $16 billion million, 150 miles worth of foot blisters, you have to believe there were some blisters, is by doing your best and making sure that you always remember, yes, I can. You look at yourself in the mirror, yes, I can believe, and yes, I will. Thank you very much.